If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over. Move forward.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
I understand that Congress has passed it, and I understand there was breaking news that the president has already signed it. And now we go to Tom Emmer. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great, John. I'm doing great. There was never any doubt. The president said he wanted the 11 bills of the 12 that he could sign into law today. That was done, and now he's got the 2-week, which is more like a 10-day CR on Homeland Security, because he's going to negotiate directly with the other side to get something done.
Wow. You know what?
Only the president could survive that negotiation.
John, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that is a lofty task, because Schumer just came out, Majority Whip Emmer. This is Rita Cosby. It's great to talk with you. Senator Schumer came out just a little bit ago and he said, why is Mike Johnson pro-secret police? Other Democrats were saying ICE is the biggest threat to America. So we're praying for President Trump.
They're trying to take your hometown, Minneapolis, the billions of dollars missing, off the front page.
Yeah, well, Professor Dershowitz, referring to the little singing ceremony, the Grammys the other night, a lot of these Democrats that you're talking about, those are the people they identify with. So, birds of a feather, right? They're doing everything but what the American people elected them to do, John and Rita. At the end of the day, it is Republicans who are being the party of responsible governance. Donald J. Trump got elected by 77 million people to make these things happen. He just continues to succeed, and so do the Republican majorities, no matter how thin they are. It doesn't matter. We have majorities, and we keep succeeding. Think about it, both of you. 11 of the 12 bills are now signed into law through next September. That's unheard of based on the history around here in the last 30 years. And if anybody can get the last one done, it is our president, Donald J. Trump.
Mike Sapercone.
We have Mike Sapercone, U.S. Senate candidate in New York.
Congressman, good to talk to you again. How are you, sir?
Hey, great to hear your voice, Mike. Haven't seen you in a while.
Well, I think we saw each other down in Florida about a month ago or so, but great to talk to you.
Well, for me, it all runs together.
I understand what you're saying. I don't even know what day of the week it is. But, we listen to all these activists in Minnesota. What are the real common sense people in your district in Minnesota saying about what's going on there?
Well, first off, the urban core is where you're seeing these photographs and these crazy people. And what I would say, Mike, is that those people are not reflective of my state. Those people have been invited into my state, much like the church protest you were talking about. Don Lemon's not a Minnesotan. What in God's name was he doing there? Oh, he was there to cause trouble. He was invited by our worthless governor, our incompetent, and, the guy let, as much as $9 billion get bilked out of his administration. Tim Walz, our Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Mayor Smallfry basically have invited all these people into the urban core to attack and literally obstruct federal law enforcement. You get outside of that urban core, which is what you're talking about, Mike. Now you got people who are very grateful when they talk to me. They're very grateful that the president has federal law enforcement taking the worst of the worst off the streets. Guys, we're talking about rapists, convicted rapists, murderers, child predators, drug dealers. I've seen deportation orders outstanding since as early as 2006. These Democrats have allowed them to wander the streets of Minneapolis and St. Paul unaffected, and when we arrest them, when we do pick them up, they have to release them again. Since 2021, when Keith Ellison basically told all of our sheriffs and all of our police chiefs that you can't hold these people and you can't notify ICE. It used to happen as just a matter of course. You'd bring somebody in, they'd pop up on the computer, You'd send it to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, who would then alert the federal law enforcement, who would come and pick him up when you're releasing him. Tim Walz and Keith Ellison stopped that practice in 2021. They're grateful that the president is doing this, but there's a big but here. They are seeing these stories, and it's in some cases not responsible reporting. You're seeing postings of car chases, guns drawn, people getting pulled over, kids getting ripped out of cars. 95% of those stories are debunked within 24 to 48 hours. But guess what, guys? The damage is done. So that the people that are, the reasonable people of Minnesota who appreciate federal law enforcement and want these rapists, murderers, these drug dealers and pedophiles off the streets, they want to see some change in how the federal law enforcement is interacting with the population on the street. And that's why I think the president made a great decision last week sending Tom Homan in. Tom Homan is a cop's cop. He's common sense. He's very straight and to the point, and he'll get it done.
Though, Congressman Emmer, one of the things, though, is that it seems like some of these people can just never be satisfied. I mean, there were people protesting when Tim Walz and Tom Homan were meeting. They were mad at Tim Walz for meeting with Homan. And also some of the demands that are now going to be on the plate, I guess, of President Trump and dealing with the Democrats. The Democrats are saying they want to demask all agents, not the protesters, the agents, the ICE agents. They also want these judicial warrants. I mean, these demands are just so absurd. How can the agents function if their identities are all over the place? How can they feel safe?
Yeah, President Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate are not going to tie the hands of any law enforcement officer, whether that's a federal law enforcement officer, a state law enforcement officer, a local police officer. We are not going to do that. We want to tie the hands of the criminals. For some reason, these Democrats seem to want to protect criminals at the expense of tax-paying, law-abiding U.S. citizens. It's insane, Rita. And you correctly point out, you got Mayor Smallfry, who has a conversation with the president. The president characterizes it, and so does either Fry himself or someone in his office, as a good call, right? It was a good call. It was productive. The very next day, Smallfry is out there saying no one is going to be sending federal law enforcement into his city. You got to get him out. And the reason he's doing that is because he's not a leader. He is a very immature leader at best. Those anarchists that he is beholden to went crazy on him, I guarantee you, overnight, because they not only don't want a good phone call, they don't want any phone call. So those are not the majority of the people in our state, much like Jacob does not represent the majority of the state. He represents a very small population, frankly, in Minneapolis. And the greater Minnesota thing has to – by the way, guys, you want to see what Minnesota really is? Go to our Secretary of State's website, pull up the map that is posted there for the 2024 presidential election. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see a sea of red. There is a blue dot called Minneapolis and St. Paul, and the rest of the state is red. At some point, the rest of the state has to matter to these left-wing lunatics.
Yeah, great points. Great. I love the small fry reference that you've been making. We all love that.
He's a punk, Rita. He's a punk.
I agree.
Well, I really appreciate the way you tell it the way it is.
Yeah, he's great. You are great. I wish you were running the entire, taking over Minneapolis too, taking over for small fry.
Well, look, these guys, they're doing us a favor in many respects, because if we could get this right, and I think the president and Tom Homan will get it right, when they do, our citizens are going to recognize that they, in fact, have pulled the worst of the worst. I'll tell you what, I had one of these middle-of-the-road Minnesotans. He doesn't worry about a whole lot of stuff. He texted me on a Saturday night a week ago and said, the federal law enforcement is going door to door in my granddaughter's building, and they're armed. And I send him back a short list of all the bad people that they've already taken off. And all I said was, I hope one of these guys isn't living in her building. He quieted down very quick, and he recognized. And the whole thing is that Tim Walz and Keith Ellison have told local law enforcement they cannot cooperate with federal law enforcement. If they would just allow that cooperation, nobody has to take a knee, nobody has to claim victory. Just get back to letting them do their job that law enforcement knows how to do best. And you know what? Everything in Minnesota settles down very quickly, except for these anarchist, Marxist radicals. And then Tim Walz has to find for some other smokescreen to hide from the fraud stuff that's going to fall on him.
Thank you very
so much.
You're
Tom.
great. You keep fighting the good fight. We love you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rita. Thanks, John.
And we'll talk to you again real soon.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.